Hold, please.
Why? Why does it keep doing this? Why is software stupid? Why is the sky blue?
Bob, do you know why?
Why is there a bug
We have-
flying up the wall?
See? Told you we need the bug thing.
You need the bug thing.
Well, I mean,
Are there bugs back
there may not be a seal on that window.
That could be it too.
Not a good seal. I
Yeah.
mean.
You should seal your windows
Yeah, like a kiss from a rose.
and your doors. Hey, his sound's back.
Hey, the sound is back.
Back a kiss from a rose.
You can hear us on the internet.
You can find us on.
I gotta get a seal on that window in case there's wolves out there.
Wool out there?
Wolves.
Wool. Thanks, Bob.
Good job, Bob.
Way to go. We appreciate you.
How's our sound now?
You hear us?
Not great, Bob.
We're saying your sound.
Words.
Thanks, BJ.
Hey, do we have sound now? Anyone?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't see the numbers the thingies aren't moving on your scope.
He's not moving.
What?
On your thing.
What?
They're not moving.
What?
Oh, that one's moving. Holy shit, look at it go.
What?
What are the other 5 that aren't moving?
What?
Tracks from the cameras that we're not using.
Oh, well, why are there tracks?
Because they have microphones in them, Chuck, and they still show up as microphones, but
Oh, no
they're
shit.
disabled. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know they had microphones. What are we using these
Wow,
for?
this is a whole revelation.
We could just be talking into the microphone.
We could hold them in front of our faces like a speakerphone, like an
Yeah.
asshole.
Like, hey, guys.
Every young asshole at Publix.
I mean, your iPad has a camera. You should probably totally use that to take pictures when you're places, especially at concerts when there's people directly behind you.
Yeah. Best idea is to take an entire iPad to a concert.
Yeah,
People do.
I know. That's what we're making fun of, Chuck.
right. We're making fun of horrible people.
SWAT is here.
Yeah. SWAT flying low.
Fuck. Hope y'all
The
find what
boomer
you-
police are here.
So,
Go on.
minor inside baseball. I'm ready to order new cameras. Is everyone cool with that? These things are pissing me the fuck off. Like 3 times now, I've set the exposure for BJ's, and then it's just like, nah, auto's back on.
Well, do we know
Is that a software problem or
It's,
is that a...
it's the piece of shit. Microsoft made shitty web cameras. That's why they got out of the game.
Are there cameras that tiny for?
I would be willing to remake the obelisk rather than deal with these pieces of shit again.
Remake the obelisk!
A new chalice for
That's
the table.
what I named it. I call it the obelisk.
We could repurpose it into a tower
Don't put your dick
for
in that.
gaming.
This? It's
A gaming
literally
tower.
like 3 pieces of PVC pipe. It's not very valuable.
It's cool though.
Don't put your dick in it, though.
Why not?
It hadn't
I mean,
occurred to me.
why?
Because-
What's going to happen if you do? For example,
Well, I want to put my dick in it.
Well,
why I don't
first
want y'all
off,
to
don't
put
put
your
your
dicks
dick in it because I drilled into the side of the PVC pipe, and if you've ever felt rough PVC pipe, I don't think you want your willy in
Well, I
there.
mean, how far down did you drill?
I want to stick my willy.
If you got to ask,
Yeah,
don't
I
worry
mean,
about
Yeah,
it.
seriously.
Jesus. I mean, come
You'll
on.
be fine.
That's what I mean. I mean, I'll probably be fine. I just... If it's like down here, then I don't have to worry about it. If it's up here, then
You
yeah.
quite literally left that dangling. I just eventually
Yeah.
had
Oh,
to take
speaking
it.
of leaving it dangling,
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw my dick in that.
I'm just eventually going to make a tiny dick joke.
But
Yeah, I was setting you up for it. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I am fine with it.
With my
I
tiny
meant,
dick,
I meant
know.
replacing the obelisk. And sticking my dick in the obelisk. Either or.
What about
good.
the cameras?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad.
I'll take the camera.
I'm going to do it.
And I will film myself. No, I will not.
I'm going to do it 2001 times.
Yeah. So as long as you don't spend our entire,
Yeah.
war
No, I, mean,
chest.
I meant because
Yeah.
like
I
cameras.
mean, we don't need 4K of my face.
Well, I mean, honestly, those cameras have come way down in price as well. I mean, we literally could do 4K.
Yeah, get us
but
some
there's
decent cameras.
There's
Just-
no reason not to. I
Just
mean,
whatever it is, make sure there's a separate app for it that controls the camera because, like, these don't have a dedicated thing. You've got to go system level to.
yeah, this doesn't either, but it works. Okay. Like when you set it in the system level, it sticks because it's not a piece of shit.
All right.
Yeah, obviously that design probably isn't going to work. I really like the C920. It's one of the best webcams ever made, but like fitting 4 of those on
There's probably an equivalent of
Yeah.
that one that
We
is
would need a bigger obelisk.
Well, we don't really need the microphone array. That's
right.
the
That's
thing
what I'm
is-
saying. There's probably that tech is now in a smaller camera.
Right.
So tomorrow, we'll
Time to
look
look up
look up
price.
some cameras.
I already have. I'm
Okay.
just saying.
Alright,
I mean, they're
well.
like $60-$70 again. They're not,
Okay.
jacked up. Oh my God, we're all home. Buy
Oh,
all
they're
the cameras.
available now?
Yeah, they're available now.
Yeah, everyone's moved on to graphics cards.
Yeah. I just bought a.
Yeah, but Bitcoin's dropping, so.
I bought a C920 business model because it's got the flap on it. Because I'm so tired of like.
The slidey flap.
Yeah, well, it's got like a little flap down so you can close it for privacy. And but like the built-in camera on my laptop, it's like I don't understand why they angle them on laptop lids
know.
where it's like, oh yes, I always use my laptop with it 3/4 closed so that it can actually see my face. That's useful.
Here you go.
Yeah. And
Pretty silly.
And then the other one I have is like an old Logitech like 300 series, and it's like, I don't know, it's like the whole thing's in like 3 times zoom. Like it's sitting on my laptop, and I feel like it's like, here, like look at me. It has like the weirdest field of view on it. So I don't know.
Is it like portrait mode on the iPhone?
It's
Something like
worse.
that. Where
no,
it's
like it's
got
actually
multiple
zoomed
cameras and it's
like
zoomed a certain way.
It's like actually zoomed in. It's like it's weird. Because I can set the C920 on my laptop, and it's like, oh, look, there I am at like the right angle and the right field of view. I look like a normal person.
Also, the laptop cameras are like 140 by 180.
Yeah, some of them. I mean, some of them are okay, but
I
Yeah.
hate my laptop camera.
like I said, I just don't understand why. I mean, like put a swivel on it. I know some of them did for a little while.
That would be more parts, which is more money.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heaven forbid you make us spend $3 extra on the $2,000 laptop we purchased.
If they can get an extra $3 out of you without having to spend that $3.
Yeah. Everyone was all like super excited when laptops started being the new standard for computers, and I was like, oh, this sucks. Because I was like, you can't build that shit yourself, and it's just gonna take out all competition, and tech's gonna start getting shittier and shittier.
The good thing is, PC nerds will always be PC nerds.
Yep.
So we'll always have parts to make things, unless they're graphics cards. All right, let's rock this candle.
All right, welcome to the BMFcast.
Hey!
Okay.
All right, let me just do this thing here.
Hey, how'd our thumbnail turn out, by the way?
Awful as usual.
You and I were looking disinterested, and these two were hamming it the fuck up.
So
It's pretty good.
pretty normal.
The usual.
Yeah, except I was also hamming it up, but apparently it waited till I stopped, and then because I had to look
That's
over
what
at
it
the screen.
does, man.
It couldn't handle maximum ham.
I know.
Yeah, we reached max ham.
Well, some people like disinterested podcasters, so I figure if we split it 50-50, people will tune in because, those two guys are wacky. Those two guys are the straight men.
The React guys.
Right, the React guys. We react to stuff.
Deadpan.
Let's go.
All right, welcome to the
Hey!
BMFcast.
Hey!
BMFcast.
BMFcast.
Episode 204, correct?
No, no,
Nope,
no, no,
205,
no,
305, 507,
Lower.
375,
Boxcar.
negative 42,
Higher.
373,000.
Lower.
504, 502, 3.
Nope.
504. I
Yep.
was right
Yeah,
before
ding,
you.
ding,
There we
ding,
go.
ding.
You had it.
Kick ass.
I was actually thinking the right number, and I don't know what the hell happened. It was like it was like an Asian name. It was in my head, and it was like, nope, 204.
Yep,
is what
nope,
we're saying.
pie.
Let's try this again.
Oh, we're going to do it again?
You won't want that as the intro.
I was just rolling
I
with
was
it.
ready to go with it.
Oh, okay. Do you want to roll with it? Because
It's up to you, man. You're the one who made a fool of yourself, so...
I give a shit about that.
Okay. So, what do we do each and every week on the BMFcast?
Fuck if I know. Why are you asking me? I'm an idiot.
I know it goes.
I don't even know numbers. Why do you think I know what the hell we're doing here?
You're right.
Yeah. No, what we do each and every episode of the BAMFcast is we go and we watch ourselves a quote-unquote bad movie. Then we come in here and talk about it. And then, I know, I have to remove a whole section of what I normally say. And then, I haven't found a good segue for transitioning it. And then, we go ahead and rate them. Good bad movies, enjoyable bad movies. They get 1 to 5 jockses and robot jocks.
Robot jocks.
Thank you for joining in my harmony. However, they're bad movies. As in stay away, they get a negative sliding scale, 1 to 5 bags, as in giant bags of trash.
In which they belong.
Gross.
Garbage.
Yeah. I'm with it. I mean,
Yeah, you're hip.
I'm totally with it tonight. We're ready to do this. We watched
Quote unquote bad movie.
Yeah, we watched quote unquote bad movie.
We did,
And
yeah.
we're going to come here and talk about it for the first and only
the only
half.
half. Yeah.
Okay, yes.
So while we were out on lockdown, we all watched a documentary about 80s action movies. And there were clips of this movie in it. And so I quickly jotted it down. I was like, you know what? We should watch that fucking movie. And we did.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Yeah.
Now, the title of the movie, depending on where you live,
Yeah.
may be many things. We watched it as Yes, Madam?
Correct.
I believe.
See.
Yes.
That's one that'll show up on IMDb and all the other
Sure.
ones. The
That
title
is-
that popped up for us was Police Assassins.
Yes. That is the UK title.
They're not really.
They
That's-
murder
they're-
some people, but
There
they're
are no.
not.
There are no police that get assassinated. There are no
No.
police that are assassins.
No.
Neither is a particularly apt title. I mean, I get that, like, you have, lady cops in charge, which I suppose is unusual in 1985-ish, but they're also co-main plotting, if you will. Like, it's not really just about them.
Co-main plotting.
Well, I mean, yeah. But the reason we watched this is Cynthia Rothrock's first movie, I
yes,
believe,
it is.
right?
Yes, her very
And-
first appearance.
And also Michelle Yeoh, not her first appearance, I don't believe, but
It is not
No,
her
it's-
first
It's
movie,
very
no.
early on.
It
It's
is
early
early,
on,
but
yeah.
she'd done a couple things before this.
yeah. But yeah, so we were like, yes, that's a thing we should watch. Plus the clips, obviously. They're all things that said, hey, this is
The
a
clips
thing
were
we should
like,
watch.
yeah, we should watch that. And it was like, oh, it's her first movie. We should watch that. And we like those things. So, yeah. Like we said, it's Cynthia Rothrock's.
7-time alum.
Yeah.
We don't need to explain what movies she's been in.
No.
But
She's
we
been in
watched.
movies where she kicks people in the face.
And we had a pre-movie argument, which wasn't a real argument, about the inclusion of people in our BMFcast history.
Right.
Whether or not what they have to do to become the BMFcast's own.
True.
I think were we split down the middle? I don't even know if we came to a resolution.
I was just arguing on the
we
side
just-
of having an argument.
Nobody
Sure,
cared.
sure. Yeah. Well, I just whether or not we get to claim Choi Hark or Choi. Is that the other way of saying? We're not sure. We may be horribly mispronouncing his name.
The director of Double Team
Yes.
Yes.
Because he acts in this movie. However, he
does.
is a past BAFCast alum via directing.
for directing Double Team.
Right.
But the director of this film is also a BMFcast alum
Yeah.
Yes.
because he directed.
Corey Yen, who did No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yes. A great movie that I believe Mackie was not here for.
I don't recall being here for it, but
Okay.
I've seen a lot of movies I've probably forgotten about.
Yes. Probably.
And one of the writers notably wrote Hard Boiled,
Yeah.
a absolute fucking classic in the action genre, and if you have not seen it, what the fuck are you doing?
I really have to wonder, though, how much the script has to do with the things that happen in these movies, though, because you can't. I don't think you're writing the things that we like. That has to just be like, and then the stunt team will do something here. Because, like, the writing, like, the story, I don't know.
Yes,
You're not here
There
for
is not
that.
exactly a story here.
I
mean, there is, and a lot of it, but also you're not here for it at all.
Look, I think I've made this sort of metaphor before, and I'm sorry if it sounds patronizing for anyone that's actually aware and can explain it better than this. But, like, as I've said before, like, most of the Chinese film-going audience can't go to many movies a year. So their general idea is to, like, pack as much genres into every single movie in
Yes.
case it's the one, maybe 2 movies a year that someone can afford to go do.
Right.
And it's sort of like the Shakespeare mentality. It was sort of like, well, we're going to give you this, like, broad comedy thing that's, like, generally, like, the public would be like, yeah, I get that. That's funny. Yeah, okay. And then, like, throw in some, like, serious shit and then, like, make people think, and it's sort of like, yeah, you're coming for the action or the childish humor, like, boobs, kind of humor and stuff, like lecherous, sort of things that go in a lot of these movies and stuff. And then it's like, they'll hit you as like hardcore good filmmaking sometimes. And it's just like, oh shit, like, wasn't expecting that.
I would argue that this one is more focused than, say, some of the Jackie Chan movies, because
Sure.
the Jackie Chan movies are like, hey, what if we stop doing any action whatsoever and have a romantic subplot? And
Right.
you're like, I don't want
Yes.
that. This movie doesn't fool with that.
There is no romance in this movie.
No, it
Thank
now
goodness.
it wanders away from action to do comedy, but
Yes.
then it's like quickly, nope, action time again. So it doesn't get too crazy with all the other genres.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't drift as much as some things do. I mean,
Yeah.
like I said, I've seen ones where it's like you'll have a badass action sequence, then like a dumb comedy bit, then a romance, and then a musical bit or something, and it's just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
like,
and
oh,
then they
it's
get
musical.
kidnapped by aliens or something. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. I will say, though, it's weird until the finale. Some of the action scenes in this feel like they're not the primary push of the movie. They almost feel like, let's get this action shit over with so we can get back to the plot.
Somewhat.
It's weird, and some of that might be part of the dub, because the dub really doesn't do the action scenes any favors. It's not really putting in a lot of sound effects, and the music is a little weird at all times. Half the score is the Halloween music for some weird reason.
Everybody loves using the Halloween music.
Sure, just put that in there. But
And yes, we did watch the English dub.
yes,
Yeah.
we did.
I know there's a Chinese audio version as well. I mean, that would have been overdubbed anyway because that's what they all
Right.
did at the time.
Yeah.
But this is definitely the English
Yes.
voices replaced. I believe Cynthia Rothrock's is replaced as well.
Oh yeah, they all were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably never even recorded lines for this movie. I'm guessing.
Apparently
Everything-
she did, but
she
she
did?
did them at such a high volume compared to everyone else who's used to doing like everything just being dubbed over. They're
Right.
like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So did they? Oh, I guess in the plot, she could have been speaking. Well, because they make a point of like, she's supposed to be from Scotland Yard.
Yes.
Shows up and or I speak Mandarin or Cantonese.
Cantonese.
I guess.
Cantonese,
I
yeah.
assume. And
But they
then-
just basically were like, oh, she speaks the language.
And apparently they had her phonetically saying Cantonese stuff.
Right. That's
It
Some
must
of
have
the
been
time.
because like the English dub doesn't match anything she's mouthing
Right.
at all.
That's what
Every
it was,
once in
yeah.
a while, like when she first shows up,
Yeah.
I think she says some stuff in English, and then every once in a while throughout the movie, there's one or two English words that match up. But for the most part,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
she's
close.
supposed to be speaking Cantonese.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because like I said, what I was getting at is like when she's first introduced, it's like it is a thing because she's coming from Scotland Yard, and guys are talking about her behind her back, thinking she's not understanding him, and she's just like, "Oh yeah, this," and it's like, "Uh oh."
It is always weird in these dubs because
Right.
everyone is speaking English,
Right.
and then characters will act like, oh well, this person can't understand me, and it's
Right.
like, nope, that person speaks English too.
Unfortunately, it's a bigger problem, and I think it's one of the driving forces why a lot of people are the subs versus dubs thing. When you have, especially some of the period ones, unfortunately, where it's like it's Japan versus China, and you're like,
Yeah.
I can't tell who's who. I'm sorry,
Hi, I'm a white person.
Well, yeah,
I'm not
like,
good
I mean,
at this.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like other if you haven't established like a dress or something, and someone's just kind of walking around generically, and they're like, oh well, that's why like some of the better subtitles will actually say what language they're speaking
Right.
along with them.
Yes.
Sort of, and it's like parenthetical. Okay, this helps me actually understand what's happening.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't know if a plot rundown works with
there's
this
no
movie
way.
because it's just action scene to action scene to.
Yeah, I mean the general plot is there is a MacGuffin bit of microfilm that is going around, and it starts with a guy that Michelle Yeoh's character knows for some reason.
When she was in Scotland, I believe.
Okay.
He's a British intelligence.
They
person?
say they say something like he's with customs, a bit of British
Yeah,
imports.
she knew him from
Sure.
studying abroad.
Yeah.
British
And-
international
and they make
crimes
a point
or
to,
something.
and she makes a point to say that they're not romantically involved because her captain
Keeps
is like,
it
"Oh,
going.
hot date," huh? And she's
Yeah.
like, "Actually, no, absolutely not, sir."
Yeah. Well, there's a side thing happening there that happens in a lot of these police-based movies is that there's always like some guy in charge who's, through nepotism or whatever, and it's just like he has no reason to be there, and everyone secretly hates him, and that's clearly this guy because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
just. I mean, granted, we're watching a dub, but he's just like, "Hey, I'm a cool guy." It's
He's
just like, oh,
King
jeez.
Dick police
Yeah.
sergeant
Right.
with his safari outfit on the whole
Yeah.
time.
So anyway, so like there's this MacGuffin thing that's floating around that's what's so crazy is like this guy's in the room. Michelle Yeoh is coming to visit him to get this as evidence. In the meantime, they've sent a hitman to take the guy out and get the microphone back. The bad guys that this would incriminate.
Yep.
And inside, just coincidentally, two thieves have a plot where they dress as catering guys, go to rooms and be like room service, and then just like hopefully go in and rob the people.
Yes.
And they inadvertently steal the microfilm as the assassin is. Look, they actually walk in on the dead guy. Oh, he's sleeping, and like he's dead the whole time while the assassin's hiding. And so it just basically becomes the like we got to get the microfilm. Who has it?
Who's got the microphone?
So anyway, that's what I'm saying. You've got the true bad guys. You've got the bumbling criminal bad guys that are like a forger and two petty crooks or thieves, and then
All named
and
after
then,
drugs.
Yes, and then the the entire police force, basically, with Cynthia Rothrock being the liaison from Scotland Yard.
Who doesn't show up until at least 30 minutes into the film.
Yep. That's your basic plot. I mean, and then it's just like, hey, run over here, action, run over here, action.
Yeah, it starts where there's a sting operation in a bookstore or something where just a pervert walks in and is like, hey, check this out.
It's my dick.
and he flashes me Michelle Yeoh,
Yeah.
who slams a book on his dick.
Yes.
Case closed.
Yeah. And as they're taking him out, guys drive up. And
yes, another
and-
crime interrupts.
Yeah, another crime interrupts this as they're taking this guy away, and they are robbing an armored truck, which leads to just chaos because she decides she's going to stop it
Yes.
with a lot of diving, a lot of bullets that send the person flying back, and like it's almost like
People get shot in the head.
yeah, you could go blow by blow, like describing all of the action, but it's good stuff. It's like the guy jumps on the hood of the car to shoot her, but she's rolled under the car, and then after he shoots, she rolls out and blasts him off, and he goes flying and just into the other. I believe he flies into the windshield of another car after
Yes.
she shot him.
Yeah, it's a good dude yoink, as
Yeah.
we call them.
Dude. The thing I like about the Hong Kong style specifically and how different it is from our stuff is how definitive each move is. Like a character will move and then they're in that position. Like there's no continued motion in a lot of things. Like if someone dives behind a car, they are now flat behind the car. And if they then roll out of the way, wherever the position is where they landed, that's now where they are. It's all strung together very well, but it's almost angular in a way. It's always just like from point A to point B, stop. Okay, now from point B to point C, stop. And
I feel like it's like cats fighting versus dogs fighting. Like I'm
Yes.
saying, like cats are like pounce specific point,
Yes.
and dogs are like
dogs are fucking chaos.
Just, I'm gonna chase that.
Yes. Yeah, and it has
Is that like? Do you think it's like a result of like the way they like to, the style that they like to shoot things, or?
It could be because because the editing is so tight with these things. It's like, okay, you need to go from here to there, stop. Okay, cut. Now, from this point, you go from here to here, stop. Okay, cut.
I mean,
it's just the way like the scenes don't play out except when you get into like the grand brawl kind of
Yeah.
things.
But then there's like set and reset for all of the stunts. That may play a role in it as
I
well.
would, I would think camera placement, focus, and all that for maximum. It's like you need to hit your mark exactly. Your plus in safety and everything else. But I think, I'm not. I promise, I'm not even trying to be like racially insensitive or anything. But I think a lot of it is culturally based on like because of the mental concentration that comes with like martial arts and everything. I think it's prevailing throughout a lot of the culture. It's like that discipline and everything. It's like it transcends beyond. I mean, think about like the way Americans fight. I mean, unfortunately, it's like the way we fight says a lot about who we are as a people. And Americans,
Sloppy drunks.
yeah, I mean, sloppy drunks, bar brawls. That's what more Americans do, And it's like,
Excuse me, we fight with guns. Thank you very much.
okay, but I mean, fisticuffs,
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Fist
yes.
of guns.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I think it prevails where it's like, everything is much more. What's the right word?
Fluid.
Fluid, but also like just precise.
Yeah.
I mean, like it is. I mean, if you're going to pull off the moves that you're going to pull off, it's like it's like gymnastics. It's like if you don't land wrong, you're fucking up your ankle or something. I mean,
Speaking of landing wrong and getting fucked up,
God.
Yeah.
Half the stunt
Yeah.
cast of this movie.
And that's the thing that I appreciate about films of this period. Basically like the Hong Kong stuff from the 80s and 90s is impacts. Like
Yes.
in the US, you don't necessarily see the aftermath of somebody getting, chucked off a second story thing. Here it's like the guy's going to hit an awning on the way down, and then it's going to flip him, and he's going to hit his face on a dumpster,
Right.
and then he's going to smash into the ground on the
Yeah.
asphalt. And it's like, God damn it. Like
Yeah.
there's so many things, especially near the end of this movie, where like a guy gets kicked and you see that guy fly down the stairs and land at the bottom of the stairs.
on his neck.
On his neck. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it's just thing after thing with that, where that's that's the big difference. Is stuff looks like it hurts like a motherfucker.
Yes, the follow through is what you get with these, because like if you think back to last week in Action USA, for example, like when you throw a dude through the trellis or whatever,
He just flies behind the trellis.
He flies
and he's
behind
gone.
it, and then because there's a mat there to make sure that man doesn't die. And then, the actual actor pops up like, I'm okay.
I feel like this was more like, hey, hide the mat into the ground and make it look like. I mean,
some of it is just, we're paying you, you might die. We will send the money to your
there's
family.
more hidden padding than you give it.
Yes,
credit.
absolutely.
I mean,
absolutely.
There's
but,
lots, but I feel like they sort of introduced that more than we did. I feel like Americans were all about like put the stunt safety stuff off camera, and this was like, no, put it on camera and hide it.
Yeah.
Like that's that's why you see a lot of dust when people hit the ground and stuff. 'Cause
Yes.
you're not going to notice the ground buckling from it being a mat if there's dirt on it,
Right.
and you're like, oh,
Right.
cool dust cloud.
I think with us, the action is being thrown through a thing.
Right.
And for them, the action is you will be thrown through a thing, and then you're going to land on your head.
It's consequence. Yeah. They're probably
Yeah.
more interested in the consequence. Than
Absolutely.
the
There
action,
should
yeah.
be consequence.
I-
These people have learned a lesson.
I mean, honestly, look, I this is going to be more racially, whatever, socially unacceptable for me as an American to say, but I mean, maybe we need some more of that shit because, like, we seriously don't seem to understand that, like, hey, pulling a gun or firing it seems to have a consequence, like death,
Yes.
and life imprisonment, and we're devoiding life from somebody else and their family. Yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
like I said, we all feel like we live on TV, video games, and movies, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's all their fault. I'm just saying like we have this culture where it's like truth no longer matters, and it's like, well, what do you start to believe? You just start to believe what you see, and it's like it's mostly bullshit,
Right.
So,
I just think, like, until recently, like when the John Wick movies popped up, we don't often watch an American action film and say, oh, that man died.
yeah.
We say it all the time during these movies. This one, at least half a dozen times, we're like, that man died. He died. He's dead. No one ever saw him again.
Like I said, I mean, I think this is all sort of cyclical. I mean, obviously Hong Kong action changed American action immensely.
Oh, sure.
I mean, with John Woo and Choi Hark and everybody else coming over here to do this shit. And usually,
But we fucked it up
Usually
for
sucking
them.
when they come here. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, yeah, we like your stuff, but don't do any of that.
Do it different. Like, do what you do, only the way we do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, well, there are rules here, sir.
Yeah.
Like you can't break that man's neck.
Right.
I don't care if he's willing.
Yeah.
You can't break his neck.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well.
Like, by the end, John Woo was directing episodes of Canadian television. It was just like, whatever, dude. You can't do any of that shit here. So just why don't you go do a police procedural or something? And it's like,
yeah.
what the shit?
Yeah.
So you get pure, raw Hong Kong filmmaking in this, and it's impossible to talk about because it's just so frantic. It's constant stuff happening. And
I mean, I have only things that I can notice from like a filmmaking perspective that I really appreciate, and I am always a fan of the mirror shot.
Yeah.
And this movie leans into it heavily in the beginning. There is a dude with some serious mirrored sunglasses, and there was one shot, I swear he is looking right at the camera and no camera.
I couldn't tell how they did that
Yeah.
unless they did it through a
They figured
two-way
out
glass or something.
they figured out how it was going to fit between the lenses.
I'm pretty sure.
Basically, they were at the right distance
Yep.
where it fell right where his nose is in the reflection, and that's how they got it.
Yeah.
But even the way they pan around him is like
Goddamn.
Like,
yeah.
how many times did you take this?
Yeah, and I'm like saying, like, that's the kind of things that like most people don't notice, and I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I see shit like that, and I'm like, I'm the guy, when I saw Contact, I'm like, whoa! I was literally kept like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, if you saw that in a modern film
Yeah.
right now, you'd go, "Oh, CG." Okay.
Yeah,
They
yeah, they
erased
just
it with
replaced the
CG.
lenses, yeah.
They put it all in green and they
Right.
just erase. And it's like, that's the fun of practical stuff. Is
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did they pull that off?
Well, there's
and it's a simple shot.
Yeah, there's
but
a-
you
there's
don't
a-
think about it until you're looking at it, going, "Wait, there's a big ass camera rig somewhere here,
Somewhere, yeah.
shooting this guy."
There's a simple shot when they're in that dude's hotel room, and the entire wall of that
The
hotel
wall is
room is
mirrored,
mirrors.
yeah.
And I'm like, where's the camera? I can see everything in this mirror.
We keep talking about Enter the Dragon. Still to this day,
Mm-hmm.
I look at that movie and I'm like, how the fuck? I'm sorry, I just
Yeah.
still do that in sequence. I'm like,
Yeah.
how? Like with the rotating shit, and like, I mean, it wasn't just like there was a hall of mirrors. It was like they had the rotating doors and shit.
Well, and there's also stuff like in Sui Hark's,
Yeah.
whatever. The director of Double Team's
Yes.
apartment is like this labyrinthine thing with like chain link walls that rotate and have shit hang all over them, and then like trapdoors and
Well, he's got one of those cage things, like in what was it? Which one? Snatch or Lock, Stock? Remember, it's like if you're doing crimes, like the people come in and they have to stop, get checked out, and then come through the.
Yeah, it's like
because-
the entryway the blockbusters.
because
used to have.
there is a chase scene that happens in his apartment
Yeah.
where he is just scrambling through stuff and just jumping on things, and it's like, how did you even fit a camera in this area to get this stuff?
It is a tiny space, and it is an intricate set. Like, it is insanely complicated.
Yeah, and the way it's all coordinated is just like, holy shit, you guys.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of getting. I was like, I don't think sleep on this movie because it's got some fantastic filmmaking shit happening.
Yeah,
in it
there
besides
are
the cool action stuff.
There are long stretches of kind of embarrassing comedy and some unfortunate dubbing, to where you're just kind of like, I don't know what's going on, but it's not going to be long until you get to something where it's like, whoa, shit.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, the longest portion is introducing the two thieves to what is his name now? It's because the thieves, one is named
one's named Aspirin.
yeah, one's named Aspirin, the other one's named Strepsil, and they meet Panadol, who is
Panadol.
the forger.
Yes.
And the whole, like, the longest sequence is being introduced to Panadol, who has sold fake guns to these guys, who then realize that they can't use them for anything, and their IDs, as soon as they got in the sunlight, they faded, and so they were useless then. But there's like a whole scene introducing them where there's all this goofball shit. And then immediately following that, you have your two thieves come and meet him, and then it's like, so it's goofball, 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 goofball for like 10 minutes.
Even that's broken up with the action sequence because eventually the guys that come about the guns are like, "Hey, fight!" You know.
Yeah,
I think
this is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and this is before Cynthia Rothrock has been introduced, so we're just kind of like, all right, we've met Michelle Yeoh. She has literally flipped an armored car full of dudes and then shot a man's hand off.
Yes.
And we got all that. We're like, yeah, we're pumped about this. And then it kind of settles down. We've met the assassin who basically kills her friend by putting an apple in his mouth, putting a silenced gun into the apple, and then shooting the guy.
Call that the move, the suckling pig.
He did that in reverse. He jammed the gun into the apple
and
then jammed the apple gun
maybe-
into his mouth.
Maybe that would be the suck it pig. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's one of those
Coming
scenes
this
too
fall,
where
the
like
apple gun.
where like you're not sure if he's got like you're like, oh man, he's really fucking with this guy, like because they're trying to negotiate basically to get this microfilm.
Yeah, it seems
and
like
he
he's just
suddenly
being threatening and
fucking
then
kills him.
Yeah, he's
and
just
you're
like,
like,
no.
well, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
The thing that you need to understand about this movie when you go into it is that you're coming into it like we are, which was like lady cops kicking ass, and it's like, okay, they're side characters in this movie.
Hold the phone.
They're not necessarily going to be in it a lot, but every time they show up, something's going to go down. Like they're going to walk into a room in a new outfit and go, well, we're murdering all these guys. And
and if that's a complaint I'd have about the movie, it's that who is the main character in this movie?
no idea.
Yeah,
Kicking ass is the main character.
Yeah, is
It's
it
this town.
Is it either of our two lady cops? Is it the two thieves? You don't know
I think
because
it's-
you're going between the pair of them so often.
the trio of dudes who are in this to pay for an apartment for old Sammo Hung and his insane asylum friends.
Yeah, that's right. Sammo Hung's in this. For like
What,
one
scene?
scene.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he produced the film, so
Well, I mean, he's got like fake gray hair and shit. He's
Right.
supposed to be an old guy, but it's just like, okay, what, 2 scenes?
He's in 2 scenes.
All right,
Oh,
okay.
I have proven you wrong. My work here is done.
Okay, I said like 1 scene.
I know. I'm
it is like one scene.
I'm just goofing.
Yeah.
I protected myself through modern day, non-committal speech. It's
I don't know.
like,
Did you?
Maybe, I don't know.
One
Probs.
ish. Yeah, they are stealing to save up money to put that guy in an apartment because he's in an asylum where he can't eat meat.
Yeah, I don't really understand what his condition is, but that's one
He's
of
on
the,
a special diet.
Yeah, and see that it's more goofball stuff with
Yeah.
that.
There's a dumb faux lecherous scene because there's a nurse wheeling food into their room for some reason who has large breasts.
There was other food on the cart that looked
Okay.
like
Sure.
vegetables.
Okay,
So.
but there's like a silver platter thing on it, and they look like they're about to because they've got this whole like get her thing where Sammo Hung's hidden behind the door, and it's like this isn't going to end well. They're just after the chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least
Which
they
they
have chicken.
attack like zombies.
Yes.
like zombies ripping out someone's intestins.
looked like
that's
raw
them
chicken.
with
It
this
did,
chili-
yeah, it
this
looked bad.
chicken.
I mean, if it was roasted, it wasn't roasted enough because
No.
it didn't look good.
It looked like boiled chicken.
Yeah.
It's probably what they're
Yeah.
into. They They can't get enough boiled chicken. But
Boiled
they're on a
chicken.
diet, which I don't understand. There's no diet where you can't have
Well,
boiled
it was
chicken.
British rule at the time, so they had to boil everything by law.
You're
I
right,
think.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true, so.
Yeah. There are several pictures of the Queen in the background of
Yes, there
several
were, yeah.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say those three dudes are the main characters. More so the two that pal around the most. Pat Labor or whatever his name is Paladol.
Pat Labor? Oh, Pat Labor?
And
Is
it
that
is-
what you're doing? The anime? You're
Yeah,
making
I
an
was
anime joke?
making an anime joke.
And
Huh, you proud of me?
Robert in the chat has said Choi Hark is the correct pronunciation. So you
I feel
had
like
it right.
Yeah, I feel
originally.
like I did this years ago, where I was like, all right, how do you say his name? Because I've seen enough of his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's done a lot of directing, like
Yeah.
obviously before he came here and got shitty.
So, like, the lady cops have a tiny arc, which is basically like, we got to work together, man. And it's like,
And they're not even working on this case, are they?
Cynthia Rothrock shows up to investigate the death of the dude in the hotel room.
Okay.
That's why she's there, and that's what Michelle wants to work on as well. She's
Okay.
like, because that was my friend. But they are just like, I don't know, whatever's happening, we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because like when Cynthia Rothrock shows up, they have tracked there's a fake passport, and they've tracked that guy down to the airport, and he's trying to get away, and he's fucking wrecking shit everywhere, and he tries to take Cynthia Rothrock hostage, and that's her first appearance in the film. And she immediately does the thing that she is famous for, which is fucking throw her leg behind her face.
No, this was
Yeah.
the front version. I'm pretty sure she kicked straight up and kicked him,
Okay.
right?
Yes,
And
she does
She,
kick
she
straight up,
saved
yeah.
the reverse crane
one.
Scorpion kick.
Scorpion kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then she fucking wrecks everything.
Oh,
like,
God, does she?
Like fucking Neo is just fucking going nuts in this scene, and I know we've said this before after every Cynthia Rothrock movie we watch, but how did no one understand what to do with her until it
Yeah.
was too late? It's a crime against film because she
Yeah.
is
She's just
hella talented.
she's just good enough as an actress to get by,
Fine,
but she's so physically
Guess what?
talented.
There's plenty of dudes like that too.
Yes.
Right. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
part
it's
of
real
the-
hard to get
right.
the person who can talk and also do that level
Yeah.
of fighting.
I'm sorry, but
But-
even dubbed, she had more charisma in this movie than Steven Seagal has ever had in his entire life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, like yeah, she's okay as an actress. She's really good as a martial artist.
She's doing
really
crazy
deserved
shit.
really deserved to be in so much more.
Yes.
The only thing I question about this is it does feel like some of the shots it's like cutaway stuff, like the really dangerous stuff, which is weird. I mean, I'm not encouraging her to like, hey, jump on board with our like we'll do anything for stunts
Sure.
routine. However, it's just like I just feel like other movies handle this better, where it's like, well, we just won't have that character get into these kind of shenanigans.
Well, she did get kicked in the head so hard that her ear bled during production.
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, no. I mean, the fighting stuff, 100% her. I'm saying
Yeah.
there's like some of those like, oh, I just got thrown 6 feet across the
Oh,
stage.
yes.
It's like it's a cutaway like behind her shot. It's like, well, that's probably not her.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you not show? Especially when there's so many shots of her clearly getting hit
Yeah.
or whatever. And it's like, yeah, okay.
That may have been a personal thing for her. Like Michelle Yeoh pretty much did all of her own stunts
Yeah.
for that movie, which is insanity because she does a lot of
Oh,
shit.
that getting thrown through the coffee table bit.
Yeah.
the bit through the glass on the balcony.
That too.
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Well, like I said, and like I said, I really appreciate that. I'm sure you can find a clip of this. There's got to be like if there's one animated GIF of this movie, it's got to be her doing the like reverse monkey bar through a glass
Yeah.
thing on a
Yeah.
balcony.
Yeah, that's what
and
I- yeah,
kicking
that's what I
two,
meant,
two
yeah.
guys through it or whatever.
Yes.
It's like, but then there's like a scene she does later where she's like spinning or leaning against that, where there's like jaggy glass sticking all where they've just like make use of it again, and it's like, oh, that's I don't know. She was just doing some crazy shit. I know it's sugar glass, but that shit can still cut you, especially
Oh, yeah,
the
for
pointy
sure.
bits. Yeah.
The other thing about this type of filmmaking that I really enjoy is how the stunt team is completely confident in just flying through the air for oftentimes no good reason. They are not going to make
Yeah,
contact with
there is
anyone.
some flying tackle stuff going on.
Yes, there are scenes where like some of the backup cops are in the Donnybrook and will just fly into the scene but miss and just land flat on their back. And there are so many just like drop kicks, just like double-footed drop kicks of just like I'm just going to run at you and leap and drop kick you, and I have no idea if I'm going to land in a position where I won't die. It is just total confidence.
As a result of that, I think Cynthia Rothrock does like 8 kip-ups like throughout the course of the
yeah.
movie because she just like does that all. I can't remember. I lost count of the number of times she flying drop kicked somebody. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and
Both
every
her
time,
and Michelle Yeoh.
Yeah.
Yes, and every time I'm just like, oh god.
Yeah.
Anytime someone's chest gets wrecked.
But yeah, as there are 3 wrestling fans at this table, you should know that like these are professional faller downers.
Yeah.
And if you watch the people that don't bounce their heads off of the banisters and shit and fall through glass waterfalls,
Hey, don't go falling through glass waterfalls.
please stick to the.
Hey, well, you made a Scrubs joke last week, and now,
Yeah.
wow, we've become the other guys.
No Scrubs this week.
Please stick to the awnings and tables you're
I have
used
no
to.
idea what you're talking about.
But now I've completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, if you're not bouncing off like an awning or a table, the guys who land flat on their backs know how to land.
Oh,
'cause
absolutely.
They're like,
Yes.
they're whipping their feet down or they're throwing their arms out. It still looks painful as shit,
Yep.
but it's because they're really good at making it look painful.
Yeah, and there's so many guys that like catch corners with like the small
Oh,
of their
Jesus.
back. Like they get chucked into something, and it's not like just okay, you got chucked into a pool table. It's like you got chucked into the corner of the pool table, like right in the small of your back, and you flipped over it from that point and
Yeah.
landed on your face.
Well, there's also that jagged room divider thing
Oh.
The
that.
guy who lands on that with his face.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Oh,
really.
But there's
my
also
Dude
God.
that takes it in the small of the back too.
Yeah,
and
that-
Michelle
that's-
Yeoh lands on it.
Yes.
yeah, but there's one guy that
She lands
like,
on the pool table.
But doesn't she also land on that weird room divider? Like,
But she's the one who
with the-
breaks it. Like the dude
Yeah.
actually doesn't break
because
it.
there's one guy that, like it's made of those what do they call those? It's some kind of tile, but there's a specific word. Those glass.
Those
thick as-
like opaque
glass blocks?
yeah, the opaque
block.
Yeah, but I can't remember what that thing is called.
the
Is it- yeah,
glass blocks?
Yeah.
They're just glass
Yeah,
blocks.
just
know,
like
but
from
I
the
think there's a
80s.
specific name for it.
Yeah,
Right.
Not that I remember.
Let us know in the chat if you know.
Doesn't matter.
yeah.
Just one of those
Every
things.
ritzy place in the '80s.
I was
had
about to
these.
say the name
Glass
of when
blocks.
it went for me. Anyway, it's made of those things, which if you ever picked one up, I mean, those things are heavy as fuck. I mean, again, probably not real ones in the stunt.
These
thing.
were fake ones, yeah,
Yes.
because those things were moving too much.
Right. But I mean, seriously, like someone lands on a stair-stepped, like freestanding structure made of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's not even just that it's like a wall of those. It's like, it's a block down, block down, block. It's
With a sharp corner
Yeah.
at the end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
I was dropping one of those on my foot one time, and I mean, just I'm thinking about like how heavy those fucking things
Oh,
are,
yeah.
and how much that terrified me. I'm like, yeah, okay, land on your back on one. Yeah, okay.
yeah, but the first half of the movie is Cynthia Rothrock and Michelle Yeoh just trying to coexist because they're not getting along. They're just arguing with
they have
each other
different styles.
about.
They're
and-
ladies in the 80s. I mean,
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Ladies in the 80s.
I just mean like, wasn't it like? I just feel like all things were like ladies were just like, oh, men writing it were like, oh, ladies are catty to each other.
Well,
Bleh. Send.
actually, I mean, it's more buddy cop bullshit, but also it's weird because they're catty towards each other, and like I believe someone in the film actually makes a comment like, "Wow, ladies are kind of shitty towards each other too. They shouldn't be. They should be better than that."
I think that was me as I was.
Was it
watching.
you?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
just
know.
said like,
no,
hey,
I think that
yeah,
there's
did they say-
guys who mention that.
I said that right as soon as they met. I was like, hey, ladies, get along.
I think like the cop partners, which I want to say it's refreshing that the other people in the police department are all very respectful. That's where the title comes from because they're all like yes, madam, and everything like that. They're not shitty towards them. They're not weird,
Yeah, except the
lecherous
guy
like
in
ladies can't
charge.
do stuff.
Yeah.
But that guy just fucking sucks. I'm
Right.
sure he
Yeah.
hates everybody, but everyone else is like, wow, you have skills. You can do things. Oh, Cynthia Rothrock is here. She can do things too. Although except for that one fucking cop at the beginning who's like, hey, who's this ugly broad? Bleh, and then Cynthia Rothrock kicks his ass.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But for most of it, it is basically tracking down the two thieves, and then using them as bait to kind of go up the ladder.
right.
Yeah, because there's lots of like, oh, that was actually a fake microfilm because I'm a forger. How did you believe me?
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the actual bad guy of the film, whose name is Tim, I believe.
Tin.
Tin? Okay.
It is tin.
Tin. Tin will laugh like an idiot at the end of everything he says, which really gives away his awfulness. But
Yeah.
he's trying to act like,
Well, nobody in this that's a villain is very good at hiding the fact that they're a villain.
No,
As
no.
we described, there is a fella named Dennis who looks like a Street Fighter character. I mean,
Yeah, sometimes he's listed as Big Mustache.
okay, sure.
big mustache.
Well, in the dub, he was listed as Dennis because he was menacing, I suppose. But yeah,
God, when they said his, because we were all
like, who is that guy?
At this point, we were just like, is everyone named after a drug?
Well-
and then this dude shows up, and they're like, hey, Dennis. And we're like, Dennis.
Okay,
Well, and the assassin guy is just named Dick.
Dick.
right. Well, and Tin the Enchanter is like walking around in like this. I mean, it's like a BJ shirt if it was made of like ethereal cotton. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Was it
Yes.
white amata? I don't want to say it wrong.
Wayabata. Yeah.
So it's like
Close.
one of those kind of style shirts, but it's like it's made of like,
It's like transparent.
yeah, it's like made from the.
It's
elf's
like a
hair.
nightie.
Yes, it's weird. He is always dressed exactly the same. I swear to God, every 12 minutes, our main characters have changed their clothes. Like, they will walk out of their office into another room, and they have changed into some sort of snazzy jumpsuit, or, and one of them's now in overalls.
Yeah, they keep changing who's in overalls.
Yes.
Yeah.
They never both at the same time. They have to take turns wearing the overalls, and sometimes, like, they share each other's polo shirts. It's strange.
They're sharing the outfits.
Your Roth blocked.
I hate you all. Why am I back in this room?
I know I said that in the studio.
You did, yeah.
Yes.
I can't
But
believe
still.
I can't believe I got you twice.
I think it was just time plus.
Yeah.
No.
Yes, time plus something equals comedy.
Yeah. Tragedy plus time equals the BMFcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we've been doing it long enough.
It's our new
like,
tagline.
Yep.
Tragedy plus time equals the BAMFcast.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
So the plot moves where they get fake microfilm because Pat
Aspirin,
Labor or
yeah.
whatever,
Uh-huh.
and
And Macross, yeah.
yeah, no
He's
Panadol.
Macross.
Panadol
Well, he is
and
always
aspirin.
angry.
Yeah. It's basically Panadol and aspirin have conspired to keep the real film.
Right.
They give the fake film to the cops.
Yep.
So that they can negotiate more money. And so
Yes.
the cops, like Rothrock and company, they bust in. They're like, "All right, Tin, you're going down.
Yeah,
You're
we
going
got
down
the-
the station."
We got the goods, see?
And they get there, and Tin's lawyer is just like, "Your evidence will not hold up in court. In fact, your evidence is worse than not evidence. You should have just quit while you were ahead."
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, you're a disgrace. You should apologize now.
Yes.
And they go through this whole thing, and eventually they just basically they quit. They both slam their
okay.
guns down and their badges.
I want to understand what the rule of law in Hong Kong was at the time because
I-
they're going after him
don't
for.
try.
Well, no, I'm just. They're going after him for forged contract or something like that.
Yeah, he's-
and that I'm just saying, like they're going after Al Capone for tax evasion or whatever, and then he's like in there, and they're like, "Well, still going to get you yet," and they're like, "You do it, I'm going to murder you."
Yeah.
In the police station,
Yeah.
and it's like
She doesn't say that. She does not. She
No,
says,
no.
"I'm going to put you behind bars."
he says something. He says like,
okay.
I will end you," and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, he just threatened a police officer's life. I'm pretty sure you got him.
Yeah, because then
drop
they
the
use
banner.
the threat like it doesn't matter. I'm going to put you behind bars, and he's like, "Oh, see, he threatened me. She threatened me." And it's like that's not a threat. Cops say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's not that's something actionable.
Yeah, trying to figure that, like, not only do we not understand the legal system of Hong Kong in the 1980s, seen through the lens of an action movie,
Sure.
even less.
No.
It's like when we start to think about, okay, what paperwork would Bruce Willis have to fill out at the end of Die Hard? It's like, oh Christ Almighty, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
He didn't have to fill out any. Al did because
Yeah.
he's not his jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So he just goes
This is
home.
true.
Yeah, I'm an innocent bystander.
Yes.
I'm sure he had to give a deposition of some kind.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, but
He did toss a man off the top of a building.
More fell off
He
because of a
fell.
faulty watch.
yeah, it was. He just let that watch go.
Yeah.
But yeah, the chief is basically like, okay, you go on vacation, you go back to London, and they're both like, nah, take our guns, and it's like, well, hold on. I think Rothrock in particular can keep her gun.
Yeah, that's, I mean,
It was symbolic. I mean,
I do like that Michelle Yeoh gives the speech, and then Rothrock's just like, I can't really add anything to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
But you
Gun
get
and
the
badge.
point.
Here
Ditto.
you go.
also Cynthia Rothrock's gun was huge.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Well, I mean, there was multiple weird Dirty Harry references throughout this. The fact that she's carrying like a 44 Magnum, and
Yeah.
Michelle Yeoh does the like, I have a shotgun. Did I fire all the shots, or you kind of feel
She's
lucky
weird. Like,
if-
do you think I fired 0 or 1?
and
Do you think I have any shots
Do you
left?
think I have any left? And cock it, and it's like, well, there goes one.
Well, yeah, there it
maybe.
went. So probably not.
Unless that was spent, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but then they're off the force, and they're like, come on, ride or die. So
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the movie kind of like they start off as adversaries, and then the movie like sort of prematurely has them become friends.
Yeah.
Beforehand, because this was supposed to be like we both quit because we have common goals, and then she literally goes outside and they're like high five, let's fucking do this.
yeah, let's go.
We didn't really play by mini rules before
Yeah.
because we escalated really really quickly.
Oh yeah, people died in
And I
routine
honestly-
police matters.
I honestly, I know they go and they come after the other drug guy, the one who's cut out of the whole thing. God, their names. Strepsil.
Strepsil for
Strepsil.
But they go to his apartment and they're like, "Why did you give us a fake thing?" And he's like, "I didn't know." And he's like, "They must have been conspiring, because then,
Yeah.
because by now the other guys have, aspirin has gone and been like, hey man, he tries to be a big shot and
He puts on his Roger Stone outfit.
yeah, and,
And waddles into the place and is like, "Yeah, I've got the evidence, see?"
yeah, and basically gets the shit kicked out of him while they send the assassin basically to Choi Hark's apartment to
Yes.
get it back.
Right.
And so he gets shot by the assassin. Rothrock and company save him because Strepsil has led them there. And from here, he's like, all right, as Choi Hark dies, he tells him, okay, here's where the actual thing is.
Yeah.
It's in this cash box that they opened earlier. And so he takes everything, and including all of the fake guns and grenades.
He suits up, like straps on
Yeah.
guns and grenades and the cash box and gets on his little scooter.
and heads out there
Yeah.
to basically negotiate to get his friend back.
I love that his gearing up montage is like, all of this shit that he's grabbing is fake, probably. And he's like,
Well, they flash back to it.
yeah.
So an earlier scene of like 3-card Monty, but with all the fake guns. It's like,
Right.
which one's the real gun?
There's one real gun in there
Well,
somewhere.
they do that at a very crucial point.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
But like,
yes.
he straps on like 6 guns
Yeah.
on one belt in like 6 different holsters,
Yep.
and then a vest and a bunch of fake grenades and another vest, and then he puts on his helmet and starts up his scooter
Yeah.
and goes
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I'm a
He
badass.
the trombone guy on the back.
yeah.
Yeah. But he goes there and basically starts like just freaking out and be like, "Hey, give me my friend back." And
It's not a sound plan. Well, none of their plans are sound.
no, it does not sound at all. But
Well, if he had all the guns and actual grenade that he thought,
Sure.
I mean, that's the
Maybe.
best plan he's
Yeah,
got.
but the first thing he does is like, all right, I'm going to burn the microfilm. And Tim's like, go ahead. That's the best outcome for me. Do
well,
it.
I mean,
like,
he's also an idiot. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But like he throws a grenade, which is actually like a music box.
yeah,
Yeah, I played Happy Birthday back when you had to pay for that.
yeah. I bet they didn't pay for it.
No,
I bet
they
they didn't
did
pay
not.
for that Halloween music either.
yeah, and but he gets overtaken by the 50 guards that are there.
Oh, dude's
And
just
they're like,
jumping
dude-
from the fucking ceiling.
And he eats the microfilm. He's like, "Well, I've got it now. I ate it." And they're like, "All right, well,
Cut him up.
Burn
yeah,
him.
well, first they're going to cut him up, and then they decide that would make too much of a mess, so they're going to burn him
Burn
to
him.
death there. As the
Right
guy
in the
breaks
guy's
out
living
a
room.
gas
Tim's
can.
living room, just like, hey, right here, I want to watch this.
Friends,
Yeah.
friends walk in like, Christ, did you burn a guy in here last
Yeah.
night?
Just fucking Scarface's palace. He's just like, I don't know, put him in the center of the room and
Yeah.
set him on fire.
And so they start dousing him with gas, and that's when Cynthia Rothrock and Michelle Yeoh bust down the door
And shoot the guy
and
with
are
a
like,
gas can.
"You better stop." And he's like, "Nah, fuck it." And they shoot the gas can and just blow that dude up.
Yep.
That dude's
and,
out of the film.
And this
Yeah.
basically starts the stunt spectacular from this point.
It's chaos from
because
this point
this
on.
is, this is like, okay, this is why we're here. This is like 15 straight minutes of dudes getting chucked through things, people doing stunts.
Swords.
Just
The guy that got blown up by the gas can, was that the Fez dude?
Yes.
Because I don't think we mentioned that, like, this guy basically has a Dr. Evil cadre of
He
people.
does,
Like,
yes.
I'm saying there's
Dennis.
there's Dennis the Street Fighter characters. There's I don't
there's
know.
Dick the Assassin.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't
There's
know
this
like how
guy.
you describe Dick the Assassin. He's a character.
Dick.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he's got the
He's just a good fighter with a terrible, terrible
yeah.
haircut.
And then he's got Mufasa over here in the Fez.
Yeah, he's
He
got
does.
bangs.
Yeah.
Kind of got bangs going on.
Yeah. Well, he's a knife guy, and we commented that's
Yeah.
probably why his hair is cut like that because he just
he
uses
probably
that
just cut
knife.
it himself.
It's like, "Arr, all right, I'm
Yeah, but I mean, we could go through all of it, but I know I had seen the scene where Cynthia Rothrock grabs an umbrella, like one of the big ones that's on like a bamboo stick, and starts fighting guys with that, and then eventually the umbrella part gets yanked off, And so
She
she's
throws
got
that at a
giant-
guy.
Yeah,
She just yanks it off and throws it.
yeah. And so she's got a giant staff and just starts beating people down, but then also using it to like pole vault herself up onto the wall.
She
and
pole
then,
vaults a dude.
Yeah, and then does the.
I didn't back it up, but I'm very certain that move she does to start the whole thing is like literally move for move stolen from the Matrix. I feel like
Well,
the
not
way
stolen
she
The
from.
Matrix is
stolen for.
stolen for the Matrix.
For
That's
the-
what I
Oh,
said.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Stolen
You
for
said from.
for the Matrix. For.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the
Well,
Matrix.
with
The
Stolen
Matrix
for this.
stole it.
With how much this stuff influenced them,
Sure. I
I
feel
would
like
put
because
money
the
that yes.
bamboo stick becomes obviously a bow staff, and
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
like and so like I'm just saying like I feel like she does all the same motion and ends it with the
Yes.
come at me motion just
Yeah.
like Neo.
Yeah.
And again, her first. I know.
Right.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah,
I know how time
think,
works.
I think you're right about that.
This was that era
are you
of
sure?
ain't nobody ever going to see this movie
Right.
steal that shit. The Tarantino era.
But she
of-
also does this move where she like, I think Mackie mentioned it briefly, but I need you to watch for this move if you watch this out there in BMFcast land.
Which you should.
Yeah, you better, or you're fired. So she like pole vaults up onto the wall and does like a split against the wall.
Yep.
But she's facing towards the ground. Her legs are vertical in a split on the wall, and then her body is horizontal. It's fucking insane.
I liked a lot of the words you said. I didn't really understand them. I like split, horizontal, bottom. Yeah, I lost train of thought though.
Sure.
Otherwise.
Cynthia the Rothrock,
Yeah, that
split
too. Yeah,
horizontal
yeah.
bottom legs.
Split, yeah. All that. Yeah.
Horizontal bottom legs coming soon from the BMFcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was another one of the
Anyway.
dude's henchmen for horizontal bottom legs.
But yeah,
You're teaming up with Dennis today.
Yes. Yeah, your partner today will be Dennis.
Well, see, horizontal.
call me horizontal bottom legs.
Like would be the most generic vanilla dude ever. See, the
Yes.
crazier the name,
Yes.
the more generic person you are.
Hello, I am horizontal bottom legs.
But Dennis
And I'm
is a
Dennis.
fucking character.
Yeah, you don't fuck with Dennis.
Dennis. It's like, oh shit,
He's
that's
like the
Dennis.
son. He's like the son of Blanca over here.
Yeah. Holy shit. Dennis is here.
It's like Blanca and Guile maybe got together.
It kind
Yeah.
of is, yeah.
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 Oh, Dennis.
But they just beat the shit out of a ton of henchmen. There's one that jumps at Michelle Yeoh where she does like this backflip or not a backflip, but a forward flip in the air, and basically drops her butt right down on the base of his spine.
Yeah.
And they slow mo that one because
Yes.
it's like holy shit, she actually did, because he's coming at her with a sword,
Uh-huh.
and she dodges that by doing a flip over him and then landing on him and being able to knock him out
Yes.
yeah,
from that.
she jumps over him doing a back flip and he falls down. Oh, God, so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are just so many things where it felt like every 5 seconds we're going, oh fuck.
What was the thing that we rewound?
It was because so in Choi Hark's House of Weirdness, when the
Oh,
guys
that's
come
right.
to
yeah.
get him,
Yeah, that wasn't part of this fight.
Yeah,
No.
the whole dude that
Yeah.
got the passport
Right.
came
Yeah.
back to get Choi Hark because he realized that he'd been sold out by him.
Yes.
And so that's when that whole the whole sequence where where he's being chased through his apartment.
It's a goddamn
Happens.
funhouse.
yeah.
It's
I mean, the thing where we rewound because it was like, what the fuck just happened? Because most of it made sense. It was like, oh yeah, you would have a knife over there. Yeah, okay, you grabbed a mallet. You would have over here, I guess, for reasons. Some of it was a little
Got a mallet?
ludicrous.
Sure.
I don't know. It was like clown colored for some reason. Like it was like from a test your strength, the world's tiniest one.
It was like a cricket mallet
Yeah.
or something. Cricket? No.
Croquet.
Croquet.
Yeah.
cricket.
But anyway, so the one thing he does is he looks like he's about to run out a door, and the dude grabs him from behind and pulls, and it's a dummy made to look just like how he's dressed,
like
except
him
with a
with
bundle of dynamite shoved in its mouth.
Yes.
Fucking cartoon dynamite. And the dynamite is lit.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
but, but that still doesn't kill him. It's just like Yosemite Sam,
Yeah, he's just like,
brown
oh,
faces him or whatever you want to call
Consarn
it.
it.
But yeah, so he I think my other favorite thing is he does this thing. He baits him to jump onto these bunk beds that he has for some
yeah.
reason that are on wheels.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Come on, come get me up here!" And the guy goes for it. He pushes off the wall, pushes his whole bed on wheels, slides across the room, and because he's on the top bunk, he has an escape hatch
Yeah.
at the right height that he just goes whoop, out. And I think that's how he ends the scene because he's just like, "I'm out of here."
He gets
Yeah.
outside
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, and it's just like, God damn, that's so good.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail the.
No.
No,
Nah,
that's-
it's
the
fine.
that was worth
climax.
rewinding.
There was plenty of stuff in that final fight sequence that we could have rewound easily.
Yeah.
Because eventually it's just the two of them squaring off against Dennis,
Dennis
Dick.
and Dick.
Yeah. Did we even mention that? Was it the producer or the director guy? Who was had the badass name? We were like, that's the best name ever.
Poon's on Dick?
Dick's on Poon.
Dick's on
Poon.
Dick's
yeah.
on Poon.
Dick's on Poon, yeah. Came up at the very beginning of the movie.
Dick's on. Yeah, it was the first. Dick's on Poon presents,
Yeah.
and you're like, all right,
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a good one.
whatever,
But
man.
Maybe
It's
not what we signed up
a
for,
fucking
but
Poon production.
But yeah, Michelle Yeoh has one more stunt that she does before she gets to that fight where there's two guys up on a balcony and it's a glass railing and she jumps and she wraps her legs around the top of it, swings her head through the bottom section of it, shattering it, grabs the two guys by the legs and flips herself back out, yanking them out off of the balcony through the glass and just chucking them down to the floor below. Mm-hmm. And you could tell it's her. Like, it's not like, oh, that's somebody else. No, it's like, no, that's her.
Yep. Yep.
Was it someone else? Oh, it's which one is Aspirin's the weird looking guy, right?
He's the
the weirdest
young-
looking one.
the young
I'm saying
guy.
the weirdest
The younger
looking
one.
No, wait, Aspirin's the youngest guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, who's the Larry Fine sort of looking dude? I'm saying the balding, like, crazy hair
That one's
guy.
Strepsil.
Yeah.
Okay,
Strepsil.
so the lozenge guy. Okay,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he
Hello.
defenestrated himself like with his head at one point in time.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure there was one escape where he was like hands up, but it was like the head went through the glass first, and it was like, oh
Oh, yeah, he's chasing guys wielding dual katanas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
And
at
then-
one
and then all
point,
of a sudden-
5 dudes with swords are attacking him, to which he is successfully defending it. And for half a second, he's like, "I'm a fucking badass. I'm gonna fucking chase these guys."
well,
and
he
then
he got scared and held
Yes.
them both above his head
Yeah.
while he was laying on the ground, and they just swung wildly at him.
It's
But
a
it
good
gave him
POV
this-
shot because it's all
yeah.
of them just going ching, ching, ching,
but
ching,
it
ching,
gave him
ching
this
against his
confidence
swords.
of like, I'm awesome, and then
Yeah.
he comes at them for half a second, and then swings and gets both swords stuck in like a banister or something,
Yep.
and it's like, ah, shit, I'm an idiot.
So
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
But yeah, there are some extended sequences of like sword fighting on the balcony. Well, first they goad them into not fighting with weapons
sure.
because they're like, no, you're men, fight like men, And so there's a whole bunch, and that's where you have the move where Michelle throws her back onto the banister, despite there being all the broken glass on it, like to dodge one of his hits, and then comes around and hits him. But part of it just culminates with Dick. Like, well, she ends up, well, yes, but she chucks Dennis off of the balcony eventually.
Yeah.
And we haven't mentioned that the stairway goes up above. It's a glass stairway that goes above a giant fountain.
Yes.
That's all made of glass in it.
Yes.
And yeah, Dennis just goes face first into this glass,
Yeah, he
flips
does.
through it, and then you see the stuntman smack his head on the stone railing just on the outside of the fountain.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think
And
it
we're
was
like,
like
holy
I
shit,
think it was
that
like
guy's dead.
a tiered plexiglass fountain,
Yeah.
and then it
Yeah.
had a infinity style moat at
Yes.
the bottom where it caught the water, and yeah, he lands in the water, but then just his smack on
face
the
hits the
on
side of it.
what
and
looks
it's
like
just
marble or whatever.
Yeah,
you know.
and they
God.
cut to the actor with like glass sticking out of his face and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
It's
Yes,
like,
they
oh yeah,
do.
he's done.
Yeah, he got the Jigsaw origin story. Right
He
there.
did, yeah.
Yeah. But Dick is on the stairs, like fighting Michelle Yeoh, and Cynthia Rothrock just jumps off of the top of the stairs and kicks him directly in the chest.
The 2-foot drop kick that
Yeah.
has happened 30 times before, but
is still awesome.
And
this,
and
this,
I mean, and,
this one's brutal.
yeah, this one it's like she flies so far into him, and then I mean it's a quick cut, but they also show the guy just getting jacked down the stairs and getting wrecked at the end too.
Yep.
And she lands like ass first on the stairs. Ugh.
Yeah, didn't
Yes.
look like it felt good either.
No.
Yeah,
But
but
I was actually curious, like, if this came out the same year as Police Story,
Yes.
it doesn't have nearly the amount of broken glass the
yeah,
Police Story
I was
has,
thinking the same thing.
but it has a lot, and I'm just wondering,
If they learned, like,
well, if they learned, or if it was like Police Story wasn't actually the thing that started that being the new way of like, this is the cool shit you got to do. I feel like that was like the one where it's like, holy shit, you broke so much glass in this. It's
Well,
like,
yeah. Well, that's the thing about Police Story. Is
Yeah.
like every time you see glass,
Yeah.
that glass is getting broken.
Yes.
Right.
Like it is guaranteed to be broken by
Yeah.
the end of that scene.
like when I saw this set with like this open stairwell with 2 glass fountains on each side, I thought this would be a good scene, a good place for a fight. we're probably not going to get the destruction that because of this movie. It's 1985 and it's not a huge production. No, they were like, yeah, we're going to wreck all this shit. Like, you're seeing this for a reason.
Yeah.
That's what I think is the most impressive thing about it, is how early it is and how they're just like, nope, this is one of those.
Yeah,
we're just going to fucking wreck everything.
Like I said, I mean, that's the only sort of bad thing about doing this immediately after having seen it. I've done no research on this movie because I'm curious if like there's any stunt coordinator combination similarity, like why two movies in the same year where it's like let's break a lot of glass. I mean, again, no, this is like a fraction of the Police Story glass, but
Sure.
it's still a lot.
Police Story is like an entire mall.
Right.
It's just
anything with a glass surface
Right.
is
if
getting
you see
destroyed.
glass, it's getting fucking
Yeah,
wrecked.
I mean, like, was this just a weird Dante's Peak volcano trend that just like I don't know, it's time to break some glass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just fucking break it.
kick some ass.
Maybe like some company opened up. They're like, hey, we can make glass that looks really good and it'll break real easy. And they're like, okay, we'll buy some of that shit.
Yeah.
That's
Like I said, I'm just curious because like it's just weird that they're the same year and wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot of broken glass
So
everywhere.
the weirdest thing about this movie is that Basically Ten's just like, haha, all the cops bust in and they're like, hey, lady cops, you're not supposed to be here. You're trespassing and you murdered all these men. Get out of here. And so they're just all walking out and Ten's like, haha, y'all are so fucked now. And he's just like, nothing's going to happen to me. I'm awesome. I'm laughing, man. I'm fucking great.
Yeah.
And Asperin's just like, no, fuck that. And
what happens is Strepsil, whatever it is,
The
Stencil,
lozenge guy.
yes,
yeah.
Stencil.
tells him, he's like, oh, well, I guess Troy Hark sold us out again.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, he's gone.
Yeah, no,
And he's like, oh, where'd he go? Wait, where'd he take off to? He's like, no, he's
Heaven.
dead. He took off to the farm to
Yes.
play with all the other little Troy
We
Harks.
set him free.
And that's when he loses it.
Yeah, they're walking out and he grabs a cop's gun and shoots him once, and everyone's like, hey, maybe don't keep shooting him. And he's like, nah, I'm just going to unload this gun into the bad
Yeah,
guy.
his buddy stops the cops that are about to stop him. He's
Yeah.
like, finish him.
Yes. Yes,
him.
it does.
Yeah.
And as like the last bullet is going into him, it freeze frames with a logo of a watch company
Yeah.
on the screen. You're like, wait, is this
Like,
like
they
some
f-
weird theater thing where it's like, now check your watch?
Yeah, they froze the shot on the gun firing.
Yes.
Like it's basically he's framed in, his buddy's in the background holding the cops back,
Yeah.
and on the muzzle fire,
Yeah.
that's the freeze frame.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's a watch logo.
Yes. And then it just goes to highlights of the film and credits, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the shit?
And I'm sure like those first few were like, thank you to
Yes.
this watch
Oh,
company.
yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you to this club that let us film there. You know,
The
like
Hot Gossip Club.
yeah. It's so weird.
It is. It's very strange. It is a really bizarre ending. One that doesn't really. It's what proves that the lady cops are not the stars of the film because they have nothing to do with this, and there's no wrap up to them at all. Like in an American movie, they're like, she'll go to the airport and say goodbye, and come back
Well,
anytime.
we didn't even mention that, like when Chief Dickhead busts in, he's just like, "Well, arrest them. They don't have any evidence. The microfilm got because we didn't even mention
Yeah.
the microfilm gets burned.
Yeah.
and towards the end because
That's how
like
to
he's
get
like, "Oh, I didn't actually swallow it. It's right here." The bad guy just
Dennis just yoinks it
Yeah,
and then jumps
Dick
up
grabs
into
it
it.
and jumps
it
into a
was-
light
it was
socket.
Dick, yeah.
Jumps up into a light socket
that
and burns
was
it.
that was definitely a dick move.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It wasn't. Yeah.
But yes, he just
Yeah.
burns it. And so like at first the lieutenant guy was just like, "Well, you're fucking under arrest, Michelle Yao. It's like you broke into this guy's home," and then like and he starts maniacally laughing.
Yes.
The bad guy is
He's
like,
like, yeah, you killed all my friends.
And he's like, "Yeah, just go and get out of here." He's like, "Hold up a second, I'll do what the fuck I want to do. I'm the police captain here." Like, and so eventually they start turning around to listening to our, Madam Cops. But it's just like, what the hell? Even this guy's like, there's clearly crime happening here.
Yeah.
The dude has an army of guys with katanas. I mean, that's
Yes.
usually spells nefarious.
Yes.
If you just
Usually, normal businessmen do not have an army of katana wielding dudes who are all dead for innocent reasons.
it's that Wilson Fisk mentality of like, whatever, you got the hand clan? Yeah, sure, you're good. It's up and up.
Makes sense.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Who doesn't need a hand?
Right. Yeah. It's a weird. We're out. Get out of the theater. But it's great. This movie is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's especially awesome for being something that is not really in the mainstream. Like, obviously, some people are aware of it because it has shown up in at least 2 or 3 documentary or scene compilation things where it's like, yo, check this shit out. Ladies can do stuff, and it's like, yeah, they can. That's fucking awesome. But yeah, I just, it's like even when you and I were running through all the Shaw Brothers movies and we're like, man, these things rule. And it's like, there's no traction on any of that stuff. You can't get people interested in these things. And it's ridiculous. Like,
I mean, I usually when because like, man, I I know I dunk on anime and all that stuff, but I've watched a lot of Asian cinema over the years.
Sure.
I mean, I think I've said it before, but I never know when people tune in. But like, we used to have a Korean video store in our, like literally like 2 minutes away from us that would have import videos. You know, like you were lucky if they were dubbed or subbed.
yes.
I actually rented a couple where I was like, hey, unfortunately this one doesn't have a subtitle. I got to get a different one, and it just kind of sucked. I mean, every once in a while I would watch ones. Never had any idea what was going on because it was just that visually interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm saying I've watched a lot throughout the years, and it's I didn't know about this one. Like this never gets championed, and I mean I'm usually pushing things that are easier translatable, I guess is the right word. Like I mean it's like Once Upon a China never gets weird. You know,
Right.
like I mean it's a story. You know, it's like it's never like, oh well now we're gonna toss in this other genre or just do something completely out of nowhere. I mean it's maybe perhaps within reason. It's been a long time and
Sure.
I've learned to forgive so much of this when I watch it. But I mean it feels like, oh, this is a traditional story, like an A to B 3-act story. And things like this you want to like scream at the world like, this has awesome action, you need to watch this. But then most people are going to watch this and get to like, I mean, they get to the food scene with the nurse, or even before that, just be like, what the fuck is,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, I can see how it could be off-putting for some people, but really that's part of its charm is just like,
is.
man, this is weird. Like when the movie's not being awesome, it's being weird, and that's entertaining because it's just like, the fuck is this? Like, what's happening?
Like I said to me, and I don't even think it's that weird. Like, I mean, the action.
No, it's not.
This action comedy. I mean, I've seen so many things like this. So many of them with Sammo Hung. This is like his fucking jam of a genre. Is this like insane, brutal action stuff mixed with the kind of worst comedy, like where it's like bordering on, is this wrong? Like where it's like this feels like bits from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Like this feels wrong in so many levels.
Yeah, I think like the some of like the Asian horror stuff, and not like the when it got to The Grudge and stuff like that, but just the early like the hopping zombie things are just like, that's a thing that you look at as an as a Westerner, and you're like, the fuck is this? This is stupid looking shit. Like this doesn't make any sense. And that's hard to grasp because that is so cultural.
Sure.
But this is just people whipping ass, and it's like, I like watching people whip ass, and this is that.
Put that on the box. That on the fucking box. I like watching people whipping ass.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of it. Like, I mean, I think it's a beautiful movie, but like Kurosawa's Dreams is going to be lost to a whole lot of people that don't understand the journey of going through the Asian mind's subconscious if you don't realize what might creep up in there.
Yes.
It's like it's there's a lot of symbolism going on that you're going to be like, I don't get it.
Yeah. So let's rate this.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it 4 jocks. I'm so close to a 5, but I think I just think about some other movies of the genre from this era and this region where I'm like, no, this is not as good as many others, but as something that is undiscovered basically and is the debut of someone who we really appreciate, it is an awesome showcase for her. It is an amazing showcase for Cynthia Rothrock. Like, it's not just like, oh, who's this person who can kind of fight? It's like, oh my God, this woman is amazing.
Yeah, this isn't like the Italian Stallion.
Yeah, no, it's not like,
other
oh,
bullshit.
she'll find her way.
Well, I just mean like other bullshit things where
Right.
it's like, oh, your first acting job was awful.
Yeah, and it's not like, maybe we'll teach her how to fight along the way and she'll have some skills. No, this lady came in and was just like, I'm going to beat everyone's ass. Like, I'm going to hang with the rest of you and it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
So I think it's really impressive. I think it just kind of takes some detours where I'm like, hey, no, the ladies. The ladies is why I'm here. The ladies are on the box. The title infers ladies. Let's have the ladies whip ass. Yeah, just I think just the kind of the why these 3 dudes are named after drugs is dumb, and their dubbing is especially strange in just that kind of way where it's like, we have to make this palatable for English audiences, so we're going to make these three sound like complete dumbasses at all times. That's a little off-putting, but it is a very strong 4. Absolutely.
Me?
Somebody else.
Okay, I guess I'll go. Wow. I mean, this doesn't have any power considering Chuck's the only person that rated this, but I honestly thought I'd be quite alone in the high jocks marks for this.
Okay.
Because this is so, like, I fucking love this. Like, this kind of shit is my jam. Again, I'm not wholly on board with the comedy bits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen other movies where the comedy parts are good, and this isn't really necessarily most of them. Some of the time, I mean, Choi Hark, I think he's a good physical comedian action dude, and that's why you hire him.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, his sequences of like doing the fall down, get punched, like I'm a weakling thing, but also a highly skilled weakling, like that.
I'm a clever weakling.
Yeah, I'm a clever weakling. That never gets old to me. So, I really dug this. I guess I got to go with you. I mean, I'm very tempted to give this 5 jocks because I really, really dig this. But yeah, like the non-action bits are not great, Bob. And so, like, yeah, I can pare it back down to a 4. I think that's fair.
I mean, if we'd been drinking.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would watch this again in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that's the thing is like it's not. It never point is like intolerable or something. I'm just
no.
I think if I were rewatching this, there are a couple scenes where I'd be like, no, I'm gonna just get past this.
I think the biggest knock against it is that its attention is not on what it's supposed to be on, what it's advertised to be on. So
I feel like any 5 jocks movie, it's like I need to be able to love the whole thing, and I feel like on a rewatch I would be skipping over a couple scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can echo the 4 jocks.
Okay.
That's where I was before, but I wanted to see where everyone else was. So there wasn't like if everyone went 5, there wasn't like a revolt.
I kind of felt the same way.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a solid 4. It's the action. It's the action is what you want when it's happening, and when it's not happening, it's like because I mean, like the whole Asian humor thing just never quite works for me. There's a lot of American humor that doesn't quite work for me either, but
sure.
It's like you think about Ong Bak, and it's like I love Ong Bak, but man, fucking cousin is like get him the fuck out of this movie. and there's some of that here. There's nobody like to that extreme that I'm like, no, I fucking hate this character. Yeah. But I mean, because
no little brother or cousin.
Yeah, because these guys, like, they're goofy and dumb, but it actually serves a purpose throughout the movie, in a way, and so I'm fine with it. But
they're good foils.
Yeah. It's not. When I go 5 jocks, I want to be like, I can tell anybody who understands what we do, be like, yeah, watch this. Mm-hmm. And this one's kind of like, I got some caveats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to know what you're in for and just be aware. Mm-hmm. Like you need to, at least a little culture relevance because like if this is your first like action comedy, Hong Kong action comedy thing, you're gonna be like, the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a newcomer and we were like, hey, watch this, they'd be like,
I mean, obviously go for. I mean, even though your reaction would honestly be the same for Police Story, and it's like 3 hours fucking long if you watch the real cut. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, and yeah, I mean, I think the drama bits in that are way more insufferable than this.
They are, but the thing about Police Story is that when they have the action scene through the shanty town, that excuses everything else. You're like, man, what the fuck? This movie is amazing. I don't care what else happens in this. I'm not even thinking about what else happens in this. They fucking drive cars through this goddamn shanty town and kill everybody.
Yeah, I mean, like this one, we didn't even talk about the dirt bike chase through the alleys where the guy fucking parkours a bike over a wall.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
yes.
Well, he just used the bike to he pushed the wall or the chain link fence over with the back tire power. Because he popped a wheel.
I'm talking about the one where he goes like up the side.
Oh, did
and
he?
then
Yeah,
goes
he rode.
okay.
He did a
At the
wall
very
ride.
end.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
It's very Trials HD Fusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the one they actually knocked a ramp on him, and I was
mm-hmm.
like, oh, that's literally like what happens in Trials.
Yeah.
A ramp falls
but
down.
we didn't even get into any of that
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of good here, but just not quite 5 jocks.
I would say the gateway drug is latter day starting to transition to Hollywood Jackie Chan. Because those are very
like Police Story 3, 4, Super Cop kind of stuff.
even like Rumble in the Bronx.
Well, Rumble in the Bronx is where basically everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying
into it.
or like Mr. Nice Guy is a very this makes sense plot wise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just saying you're going to get the least amount of I don't really understand what's happening here, and then gateway into the later where it's it's a little more freeform. Because like I said, my blanket statement about the people not being able to afford movies, that's a go. That's not now. That's why like the Shaw Brothers. I'm talking like 70s, 80s era. That's when it was like shove all those genres together.
Right.
Not so much anymore.
Yes.
Like, that's why they love American movies now. It's just like
Yeah. It's like, no, this is
Yeah.
one thing.
yeah.
Man, I really hate to bring the rating down.
Sure
It's a
not.
good thing I'm not going to fucking do that because
Good. That would be bad.
yeah, that'd be horrible. Yeah, I got to agree. It's definitely a Four Jocks movie. It is two of my favorites doing an outstanding job of doing everything I love about them. Michelle, I have gone back and forth between Yao and Yo. You pick out there in BMFcast land which one it should be.
Again, I went with the pronunciation everybody was going with. I've always said yo. I don't care. I'm not. There's no points. Internet points. I don't care.
And then Cynthia Rothrock, I think I pronounced that one correct too.
It's Cynthia, actually. Yeah.
Cynthia.
Yeah.
Rothrock.
It's Rothroke.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rhymes with Baroque. Yeah.
Pronounced Rokoku.
Rhymes with Baroque yo neck. But for this being her debut film, that's fucking insanity.
Yeah.
That's absolute insanity. And like I read that they just contacted her martial arts demonstration team for looking for a male lead. Mm-hmm. Right? And she showed up and did her shit, and they're like, "Oh no, you! No,
Good.
You
Get over here.
You get in this movie. You're going to be in this movie now."
Good. That's how it should work. It's like, hey, check that out.
Yeah,
She's awesome.
yeah, she's incredible. So definitely a Four Jocks movie. I think it's on the verge of a 5. I think if the
absolutely.
dub for the trio of painkillers had been about half as annoying, we might have gotten there, because that was one of my biggest problems, was how fucking annoying the dub is for those guys. I love what they were doing, like their acting and their physical comedy and their quote unquote fighting. You know, the clever weakling is one of my favorite tropes, because I myself am a clever weakling. That was like, most of that was brilliant. I really enjoyed it, but just
I just thought it'd be a line between Michelle Yeoh and Cynthia Rothrock when they first introduced. It's when the people are making fun of her being ugly or whatever, and she surprised them with the Cantonese. Mm-hmm. This is a scripted line. You would never think of this if someone were to say this word to you. I still liked it. Yeah, like, it's such an unnatural thing to say, but she's like, sorry for the guys and their lack of decorum. And she's like, yeah, I think it's not a lot of dick and a whole lot of decorum.
Yes.
Yeah, or not very much dick and a whole lot of decorum. And I was like, wow, no one would ever think to say that on the fly like that, but I still like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The later re-releases of the Godzilla movies went back and added more respectful English dubs so that those movies weren't as stupid as they were when they aired on television, like back in the 70s. And I know this genre, just for whatever reason, is never going to get that kind of treatment here, but if it did, if they were to redub it with a more like not cartoonish way of if people were just speaking and not being goddamn cartoons, I think maybe you could get people. I think even with the weird bits of it, you could get people with this.
Well, I mean, our kind of people, you're going to get easily.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get, because there's no one going to the video store anymore. So
yeah, there's a market for it.
Yeah.
So with all these, boutique Blu-ray releases out there, it's
this is
definitely
the one
possible.
genre that doesn't exist in the boutique market. Not here.
Yeah, not yet. But I mean, there's a market for it. They just have to work out the rights or whatever.
You just need some influencer.
Or actually, it's probably just finding the film to do a proper transfer.
There is a Asian Blu-ray release of this, but it's only in Cantonese, so that's why we didn't. Watch
I
it,
wonder what the legality is. I mean, like, nobody seems to give a shit about people doing fan subs.
Yeah.
People are like, yeah, sure. You want to write down what the people said in whatever language is appropriate for you? Go for it. That saves us some time.
Yeah.
You think about fan dubs?
Call
Cynthia Rothrock. Get her on the horn.
She'll do it.
Well, I meant like I just, not necessarily for this, just for anything. Like, I mean, the voice market is so much. The voice acting market is so much bigger than
it's
it is
huge.
with video games and everything else. Like, it's bigger than it's ever been. I'm surprised that like nobody's tried to do like a Riff Tracks proper dub service. Like I don't know. Again, I don't know what the legality would be, but like
We provide
Yeah.
proper English dubs.
we go
for
back
these
and
movies.
we find movies that were like, hey, this. Listen how fucking racist this line read was for this guy. It's like we just go back and like do this proper. Like, yeah. I mean, fuck, hire Asian American actors to speak English. I mean, if you want to get all real proper, it's like let's just. I mean,
Hire Cynthia Rothrock to dub her own speech in this.
sure, yeah. I mean,
Because we didn't get Cynthia Rothrock. One of the charming things about her is her way of speaking.
Squeaky voice.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's charming.
Yes, charming. And unfortunately, we didn't get her dubbing her own. Like, I understand, like, you film it, she filmed it, and then probably had to fly back to the U.S. or whatever.
Well, I guarantee was done by a totally different company after the fact.
Oh, yeah.
Like-
yeah.
Way after.
Yeah.
Well, apparently they don't even film sound for these movies. They just mouth the words and then ADR everything later.
Yes.
that's
Did.
a lot of movies actually. Or I mean, they'll mic it, but it's like with no intention of actually using really any of it.
It's just for sync
Yeah.
purposes.
Right.
and- Yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
Sound
that's,
is recording dialogue is a pain in the ass. So
Mm-hmm.
especially in a movie where everything is
breaking,
punching and fighting, and so
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for the movie part, right?
yeah, we got some
Now
correspondence.
it's time for the correspondence part.
Is that me?
Yeah, we got a voicemail.
Okay.
Do we have any emails? Any electronic mails?
no, just
No.
females.
V-mails?
Yeah.
The V-male of the species is more deadlier than the male.
Hey, BMFcast,
Hey.
Harlow, Chuck, Mackie, BJ. This is Evan calling from California. Just wanted to call and leave a voicemail saying it's so great having you guys back, having the show back, even though I thought the variety hours were terrific and they were a lot of fun. I liked that conversational stream. But the Action USA episode was just so good. I would say it went beyond the gold standard and now goes into the echelon of diamonds. So I just wanted to say, great you guys are doing. It's great to have you guys back on the regular format. Great you guys are staying safe, and we'll be listening, of course, further on for new episodes. This is Evan out, and yep, terrific having you guys back. That's it. Bye.
Oh God, I love an awkward goodbye. That's,
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't generally have Schadenfreude for awkward situations, but an awkward goodbye is like, oh,
Yes.
it's just
Just chef's kiss.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Evan.
Yes, no. I mean,
Before we make
absolutely.
fun of you.
no,
Yes.
I'm not making
Thank
fun of you.
you.
It's
No, no,
in
no.
general.
No, we liked it.
I love physical awkward goodbyes the best. Just like the literal best thing in the
I
world.
can tell. Literally every time I've said goodbye to you has been
Yeah,
awkward.
it's so good. But no, I mean, I love the like, hey, good night, and then you start walking both
Oh,
the
same
same
way.
direction. Oh,
Oh, hey,
so
yeah.
good. Anyway, sorry, Evan.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Evan. I think you just called so you could say diamonds.
Diamonds.
I think you just
Voice
wanted to get
crack.
it was
Diamonds.
still sounded
Man,
good.
can't do it.
Look, it's been 15 months since anyone had to say their name out. Like,
Yeah.
Zevin
Yeah.
out.
Speaking how do
Yeah. It's
Okay.
I mean, look,
Backwards I am talking.
it's very difficult to get back into your
I
shtick.
wasn't making fun of Evan's position.
No,
I
no,
was
no,
saying
absolutely not.
I love an awkward goodbye. It's so great.
I like that we usually miss the point of the voicemails and we just talk about like one thing out of the
Well,
voicemail.
no, the point of the voicemail was that we're awesome. So I
Yes.
think that part
He also said
sunk
he
in.
liked the variety hours, so I was just continuing with that, by
Yeah.
saying how much I like awkward goodbyes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Variety
guys, what do you think?
Variety
We
hour.
should.
BJ's not here. Who says variety hour?
I don't know. Do you want to like maybe?
Speaking of awkward goodbyes,
Goodbye.
if anyone wants to send us
Oh.
an email
Oh,
or a
in the
voicemail,
same way.
Right,
how should
yeah.
they do that?
Oh, well, they should use their device, whichever that is. Either a web
Their
browser.
relevant mobile device.
Go to
Either-
the device store.
Either a web browser to go to www.bmfcast.com, but you don't need the www, as Harlow always reminds me, or pull up your favorite email client and type in bmf at bmfcast.com in the box, and then send us a message.
Right. Open
Or
up
pick up-
Eudora.
Yeah.
I like that you say client.
Yes.
Like download your Thunderbird and
Right.
connect to us via electronic mail.
Yeah. Outlook, perhaps. Or pick up your telephone and dial 910-5JOCKS-BMF or 910-556-9263, and you'll reach the Garfield phone, the BMFcast hotline. You can leave a message just like Evan, and we'll put you on the air just like Evan, and we'll make fun of your goodbye just like Evan.
We won't.
No, we'll do it differently.
We'll make fun of something
Yeah,
else.
we'll
Yeah.
find
But we'll
whole new
find
jokes to
something.
make
Oh,
at
yeah.
your
Yeah.
expense.
We will find something.
Yeah.
But don't let that stop you.
We will laugh alongside you, around you. We'll laugh.
We'll
near
laugh
you.
laugh
right in
around
your
you.
We will
goddamn
laugh like
face.
Tin, the enchanter from.
Yeah.
I'm not evil.
We're not evil. We're good people.
Good people.
Still good people.
But at least we won't do it behind your back. We will do it right in your digital ears in front of your face.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The second after you stop talking.
Live on youtube.com/BMFcast.
We might even interrupt you.
Pause. Anyway,
Listen, this guy.
this fucking
This
gag.
motherfucker righty.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, thanks and all, but hey.
Now, with all that said,
Yeah.
if they want more stuff in exchange for money,
Yeah. Now we've sold ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah, you can pay to get more of this at patreon.com/BMFcast,
Oh, yeah.
which will bring you all of your earthly delights if your earthly delights are more podcasts from us. Available for a low fee of entry of $1, all the way up to as many dollars as you would like to give us.
Yes, the sky's the limit.
Yeah, per month. Gimme.
Because we're the cream of the crop.
Yes.
And we're gonna rise to the top.
Sky's the limit.
Like, cause like the cream rises to the top. Anyway, awkward goodbyes and all.
What?
Yeah.
Your mustache is crooked.
It's
let's get out of here.
It's nice seeing you.
Yeah, it is. It's good. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
shall
all
we?
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
BJ.
I'm Chuck.
And this is out. BMFcast out. Bye.
Or something.
I'm not even sure we did our names at the beginning.
We did.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You
Pretty sure we did.
I think
Yeah.
we might have done it the
you
first
fucked
run
me all
through.
up with my fuck up.
Yeah, we did.
How dare you make me fuck up like that?
Oh, man, you fucked up. We're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
Diamonds.
That's the BMFcast promise.
I don't know what happened. I was just like, what? Words? What do we do?
All right, well, we should say goodbye to the live stream.
Diamonds.
Diamonds.
Goodbye, live stream.
Goodbye.
I guess we forgot to mention the Press F weekend. But
Well, that's
Oh,
okay.
well.
That's why we're
Press
doing no quarters early.
Weekend.
Yeah, we doing that next week? We probably should announce that too.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Wait, what day?
If you're still here, we're doing a no quarters next week. Deal with it.
Well, we're doing it on Monday. We're still
We're
doing
doing-
the BMFcast.
We are?
Yeah.
Shit. No, I thought next week we were going to be gone by Wednesday. No?
Where are we going?
Is it next week? Is next week not Atlanta? What the fuck is Atlanta? No, not Atlanta.
Atlanta's August, dude.
God damn it. No. There's that Press F thing. Yeah.
It's the following weekend.
It's not next weekend? Not this.
It's not this coming weekend. It's the following weekend. So,
Memorial Day weekend. the
right.
3-day
Right.
weekend.
This weekend is not Memorial Day weekend, and Monday is not Memorial Day.
Right.
Monday, we're going to do a no quarters remotely.
Uh-huh.
Wednesday, we'll come in here and do another
Okay.
BAMFcast.
Okay. I thought we were just going to do one or the other, but all right. That's fine.
I don't want to kill the BAMFcast momentum,
Okay.
if that's okay with everyone.
I'm cool with it.
I don't want to do 2 episodes and then be like,
Are we going to come into the studio or are we going to do it remote?
You mean for no quarters?
no
For
quarters remote.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
There's no reason to.
Thank fuck.
I mean,
You're You're welcome.
right. Look, this pants wearing is still like new.
Yeah.
I don't
Having to
care
leave
for
that.
it.
Look, I don't want to leave the house more than I have to.
My jeans are like, the fuck?
Yeah. Like,
You
hey,
got pants on?
you know what time it is?
I haven't seen you in a year.
The hell is this?
I'm not supposed to be at the gym.
Get that out of here.
That's what I'm normally wearing is things that are supposed to be at a gym. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you wearing sweatpants?
No, I'm wearing jeans right now. I was just saying, normally it's sweatpants or gym shorts.
Gotcha.
Depending on the temperature. Or yoga pants. I have like one pair of yoga pants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, pants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, you should wear those.
Nah.
Are you doing yoga?
No.
You just
Is
want
that
to
the
be
pants?
comfy.
Yes.
How-
Absolutely.
Okay. As a
Oh, wait,
leg
here we
hair
go.
having individual, how comfy are they?
Well, I didn't go for like ladies yoga pants, like skin tight.
Oh,
yoga pants.
okay.
I went for like, I guess you would call them yoga loungers. Like they're
Okay,
still
I got
stretchy.
you, I
like
got
you
you.
can
All
do
right, all right.
yoga
Kevin
poses.
Smith movie.
I'm saying you could do yoga moves. It's just not
Okay,
like
so
you
they're
know,
not the skin tight.
No, I'm not
tights.
wearing a dead ass pair of yoga pants. I guess I
Okay.
should say. I yes.
Well, there goes tonight's.
I mean, I can be if you want to picture it. Yeah.
Well,
Are
you
we still
already killed
online?
it.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are they Lululemon?
No. I wish I could afford some Lululemons. I'd be all over that shit.
Lululemons.
They have a men's section. You have to look for it.
Do they?
It's a Pete Holmes routine. I don't know if you know it.
No,
Okay.
I don't. Unfortunately.
All right.
All
Farewell,
right.
live stream.
Auf Wiedersehen, goodbye.
Farewell. Good night.
Take us off the live stream now.
Okay.
Take us
Don't
off
tell
the
me what to
live
do.
stream now.
Do it.
Maybe I just want to be online.
No. You take us off the
DJ
line.
and I are going to start the Jackin' Cast.
Jacking
Yoga
it,
pads.
jacking it, jacking it, jacking it.
Jack Cast.